Prejudice, entitled entity falls from grace, digging their own grave. What a shame. Scorpio, that's the energy that I have for you for November 1st. You could be watching this November 1st on a Friday or any day after that. It's a timeless reading. So that's the vibe that I have. I don't know if this is something you're going through or something you're experiencing, or watching someone else go through. You could be cross-watching for a Scorpio. Someone falling from grace, digging their own grave. And it's almost like it's pitiful. At this point, let's pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. All right, so that's the vibe. Again, thank you so much for being here and clicking on this video. Someone falling from grace. I feel like the whole point of this person falling is that they're afraid of whatever's behind them or beneath them. And the reason why is because they don't respect nobody beneath them. Like, you're supposed to be looking on those beneath you with love and compassion to help them rise to a higher level, if that's the case. But I feel like it's not always about rising up to the top, because all of these levels and locations belong to God. So this person that's scared of the bottom is because it's a bottomless pit. There is no foundation. And the Lord said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art northward and southward and eastward and westward. There's something coming out here about directions, like people going all over the place, moving left and right, north and south. But you're stable because none of it has anything to do with you, and these people are confused. And the remainder thereof shall Aaron and his sons eat. With unleavened bread shall it be eaten in the holy place. In the court of the tabernacle of the congregation they shall eat it. Because I feel like God prepares a table before you in the presence of your enemies. So you can watch people running around scatterbrained and still be eating comfortably at the table. And this person, I feel like, wants a seat with you at your table. They want to eat with you, but for some of y'all, they are the meal. Not for all of y'all though. But this person is entitled. What makes them prejudiced and entitled is the reason that they fall from grace, because they are that thing. Like, they're hating on a group of people that they belong to, digging their own grave. Like, they feel like they're digging a grave for somebody else, but there is their name on the tombstone. Basically, it's like they keep trying to separate themselves from this group. That's what prejudice is, like separating themselves without loving themselves. Like, if they love themselves, then they wouldn't be trying to pick out the flaws in other people. They will find some way to forgive those other people or have compassion on those other people. This is a real message. I mean, when you follow God, it's very simple. It's very easy. It's just people don't want to do it. And that's why I feel like the whole point of this person even becoming part of this reading, this energy, is because they pretend to follow God. Like, they don't want to get chastised. It's like a witch that doesn't want to be a witch, or doesn't want to get burned at the stake. You know, how can I even say this? Let's just move on. Because nowadays it feels like there's a group for everybody. It's just like someone who's a homosexual that doesn't want to say that they're gay, but it's a whole LGBT community that they can be a part of and thrive in and love life to the fullest in. But this person prefers to pretend to be straight, even though they're coming off like that's a little bit gay, but that's why they're getting called out, because they're in a group that they don't belong. Not to say that gay people don't belong with straight people or whatever, but it's just like Be happy where you actually belong. Be happy around your own people in your soul tribe. And if you want to be around other people, then love them too. Don't just feel like, oh, I'm better because I'm around these other people and I'm away from these other people. Because everybody is the same on some degree. And if you hating somebody, then you ultimately hating yourself. I just went on a tangent, y'all. All right, you have shred. A small amount to tear, to cut into pieces. Yeah, somebody's getting shredded right now. Because it's real energy. And I definitely feel like some of y'all are very passionate about this, whatever it is. They getting called out for. What's causing them to fall from grace is because they were lifted up where they are in the first place. And now they want to bite the hand that feeds them, or stomp on the people that's literally lifting them up to a higher place, like, oh, I'm better than you. But you do realize it's because of them that you are where you are. When you have wife, a married woman, keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking lies. I will declare thy name unto my brethren. In the midst of the congregation will I praise thee. Something about a wig. Okay. But I definitely feel like the truth is being heard right now and is being spoken. And it's very clear as day. It's like, how do I even interpret that? Because it's so clear. Proclaiming God's name at the rooftops. Being proud of who you are. Loving God and not being afraid of God. Because it's like, even if they want to worship the devil, go and be a Satanist. There's plenty of people wearing Satanistic clothes or whatever, Satanistic makeup. I don't really know what that group is. Are Gothic people Satanists? I don't know. But it's like a group. If that's what you are, then fight with your group. People who are proud to be what they are. They got names for everything, terms for everything. And it's your soul tribe. But I feel like this person is pretending to be a Christian or something else. And that's why they're being exposed. What things soever you desire, when you pray, believe that you receive them and you shall have them. So right now, your energy is being refocused on things that you want. Think about good things. Think about your next shopping spree. Put some things on the list of things you want in your life, your next home, your next car. Those things are important and those things matter. This person who's trying to drag you down into the mud, they genuinely don't matter, honestly. Even to the people who have taken them up for a clause, don't really support them. These are people who hate their own supporters. Pay yourself first. Make yourself your most important financial obligation by setting aside a portion of your income every time you are paid. This loving form of self-care ensures that you'll have savings to invest in your present and your future. Because for some of y'all, it's like, these people who pretend like they care about you, they don't really care about you. They just using you for something. So it's like, you need to care about yourself. Pay yourself first before you invest in someone else's future. Then you have Philip and the man from Africa. So something about Black Lives Matter is coming up, because I just said the word matter, and then, it's a lot of these decks is very few people of color, but we just got 2 people of color here that just popped up about that. I know it's like there's plenty of decks with people of color in it. I'm gonna do something about that. So we have Philip and the man from Africa. All scripture is breathed out by God and profitable for teaching, for reproof, for correction, and for training in righteousness, that the man of God may be complete, equipped for every good work. Like, that's what I'm thinking. That is it's something about this energy that's like, well, you have to be willing to learn as you grow. You have to be willing to make changes where they are necessary and not run from criticism and not run from correction, because God, a father who corrects his child is a father who loves his child, right? Spare the rod, spoil the child. That's what I'm feeling like. But I don't know. It's something about this black energy, this man from Africa. Something about black love, possibly loving yourself. Something about internal hatred. Because these people hate themselves. And it's really impossible for you by someone else's hatred, someone else's self-hatred. That don't have nothing to do with you. Then Jesus came to them and said, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Stay close to God at all times. It's never not going to be important. Or it's never not going to be important to be close to God. At every single opportunity, God is protecting you. That's why these people try to come in your life and distract you from God so that they can get their grimy hands on you. They're hunters. Well, they're scavengers, really. Okay, so then you have Nicodemus. It says, these women, along with Joseph and Nicodemus, were disciples of Jesus, wrapped Jesus' body in clean linen and sweet spices. After that, they laid the body in Joseph's tomb, which had been cut out of rock. Then they rolled a huge stone across the entrance to the tomb and left. So there's something about this tomb. Once you go in this tomb, it's not the end of the day. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of anything. It's just another piece to the puzzle. Because you're going to rise again. Okay, and then you have Page of Swords here. And also, there's someone coming before you to clear a path for you. So whatever you had to face in this journey, someone came before you and did most of the work for you. You had to do the hard part, but they did a lot of the heavy lifting. I don't know if that's making sense for y'all. Why I want to kind of stick on this black energy, but I don't really know where it's going. So maybe something about a point. Someone has a point to make, or the point that they're trying to make is irrelevant. It says love. So we talked about love. You can't really see these cards, but it's all tiny words. But something about black love here is relevant. And there's some decks. I don't actually have the decks in my possession, but I don't know if I should shout them out before I even buy their decks. But it's just like, there's a lot of black decks on Etsy that I've been looking at, and there's even Christian decks that I'm looking at, and like, because I'm like, I want to see what the Christian theme, but a lot of black decks are not Christian because that's not really a black religion. So I don't know, I'm getting too personal, but let's get some energy here, because maybe y'all have some Hebrew in your line or something. You could be a black Hebrew or a black Israelite or something. Like, why is this energy relevant to you, and why is this color coming up? I don't know. So let's see. Oh yeah, so prejudice. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's a black white thing with somebody being prejudiced or entitled. And then when it comes to this entitlement, it's like they feel like they deserve what you have. I mean, they literally think that what you have is theirs. Like you stole it from them. That's the entitlement. But they don't have the titles. They don't have the deeds. They don't have a license. It's literally not theirs. They're just entitled. And the prejudice is like, they think they're better than you, but even if they are you at the same time. Because I feel like you don't even need to have like a defense of saying they think they're better than you, but they're this, and that, and a third, because they're human. They're you. Like, whatever their issue is an issue that needs to be solved within the whole race. Like, it's like you're doing shadow work for somebody else. Then you have Jonah here. So you have the Chariot, Jonah in the Chariot, and then you have 5 of Cups in reverse. I almost felt that energy. Like, it almost felt like I was on this horse racing out of the well. Like someone was swallowed up by a well, or doubt, or someone being distracted from their situation. Maybe they wanted to be distracted at the time, but now they've got the courage to go on and listen to God's voice because they realize it's better than sitting inside a whale's belly, rushing towards this new situation. But then it's like, whoa, The new situation is a bunch of haters. A bunch of prejudice haters. Did I say this was for Scorpio? What is going on with Scorpio? Last Scorpio reading, I was like calling you Virgo, and now I'm like halfway through. I don't even think I announced that it's for you, but I'm going to put it in the title. And then you have Strength, which is Daniel in the Lion's Den. Something tells me it's not the end of the story, even though I'm going to leave the cards at 4. But something tells me that whatever these haters surrounding you, a bunch of pussies, they're not going to touch you. That's what I'm feeling. They're afraid of you. They're more afraid of you than you need to be of them. So let's get this energy for 8 of Feathers. And I just love this card, like sociable. Yeah, somebody could have been in a hermit mode for a while. Now you're feeling more sociable. You're feeling that connection. And how to make that definitely was trying to interrupt and interfere with your ability to connect. They're so jealous of you. It's sad. It's sad. It's almost like you almost want to break down and cry, but that's what this pity party is about. Like, on the outside, it may look like a pity party, but really you're just working through this trauma. Dominating. And I feel like you're dominating a scene without even realizing it. Because what's happening in the dark is coming to the light. So you've been doing some things in the dark. That's what everybody is going to see, even though nobody is watching you right now. Brutal here. Something came out about brutal. Like, was it brutal honesty? Or something was about brutal. Brutally jealous, or yeah, brutal haters, or just brutally hating on you. Once you work through this trauma, or whatever these people are however they're trying to traumatize you, once you work through that, it's going to be hilarious. Once you see that the grave they're digging is for them and not you, because that's what I feel like. They're like angrily digging this grave, and like they're just gonna bury you like a serial killer. But they're gonna jump in that grave and bury themselves because they're afraid of life, and it's a shame. Okay. Sarcastic. So we have sociable, dominating, brutal, sarcastic. They could be brutally sarcastic. But I definitely feel like somebody is coming back alive, coming back into the spotlight with this sociable energy, leaving the belly of the well, not being afraid to stand up and be yourself, which is paying yourself first, loving yourself first. Even if it's black loving yourself first. That's the point I feel like Spirit is making right now. And you're doing it full force by dominating, clarifying the Chariot energy. Is like you're hitting the ground and running. And then you have Magician here. So yeah, you're definitely a magician, or you have magical abilities, possibly when it comes to being social, whether or not you control the crowd, or possibly the way you interact with people. Like a magician interacts with the crowd, you get their attention, and you do things that they genuinely want to watch and they're genuinely excited by. Then you have King of Air. I feel like this has to do with your thoughts. Knowledgeable, objective, respected. Like, because of the situation that you've been through, you have a solid opinion. You know where you stand, and no one can kind of sway you back and forth. But basically, you don't have to fight people who are fighting the idea of you. You can just let them fight themselves, because that's ultimately who they are fighting. Digging their own grave. Page of Water here. Yeah, something really immature about them. And we spoke about this in some of the other readings in this series, that they don't learn. That's why they're so immature. It's not that they're youthful and they have a young spirit. They genuinely just keep going back to this childhood trauma and doubling down on whatever thoughts they had as a kid, and come back to the surface as an adult with those same childish thoughts and feelings. Even if it's like, well, he hurt my feelings, or she was really mean that one time. You're an adult now, so if you don't have some other way to look at it and get over it, then it's almost like a can we even say the word re-eardation? Like, that's kind of what it is, literally, like a medical term. Then you have Four of Water here. I don't know why these two people look alike from two different decks. They look alike to me. The way they're sitting here with the strength here. Maybe it's like you having the strength to turn these people away. Maybe it was like you didn't want to come off as being prejudiced by discriminating against prejudice entitled people. Like, you tried to take up their plight in some way, and now you just realize they're on their own. They're tripping, okay? And you know from experience, it's not about what other people think and feel, even though most people think the way you think. It's about your own thoughts. You feel this way on your own. That, whoever these people are, like, constantly wanting attention and being brats or whatever, like, you're a grown adult and you don't have no responsibility for some random people on the streets. If they don't have a social worker taking care of them, I mean, it's like you've already been crucified. When you rise back up, Jesus said, "Don't touch me." When he rose back up, he said, "Don't touch me." And before he died, people were touching and pulling on his cloak and stealing his energy. And he's like, "Who touched me?" But now he set boundaries. And then when he went up to heaven, he ascended. He said, "Where I go, you cannot come." Because now you got to stay where you are. These demons, that's basically what he was dealing with. Just like when the devil tempted him in the desert. It was basically just a bunch of demons, okay, harassing him. And this is resurrection. You rising back up into your peaceful state of mind with all that knowledge of what goes on in the dark, and it coming to the light, that the dark stays in the dark. Ultimately, they're afraid of the light. You're the only thing that makes it back to the light. The fact that you've been working on yourself in the dark. And this anger that you have is holy anger. It's not their anger. It's not the prejudice, entitlement, and life is so unfair that everyone is doing well type of anger. It's like, you're going to love God regardless of whether these people have a problem with you or not. You're going to love God regardless of whether people hate you or not. And then you have discernment. So use your discernment at this time. Truth and clarity is coming out. You're being shown the truth right now. That you're around a lot of sick people, possibly mentally ill. And it doesn't mean they're bad. It just means they're weak. And you don't have those same weaknesses. Okay, and then you have 10 of Cups here, Mars and Pisces. You have Mercury and Taurus, and Venus here. Scorpio, you could be dealing with a Virgo, I believe. Venus is Venus, Virgo, or Libra. And then you have Mercury and Taurus. You could be dealing with a Taurus, a Pisces. But Mercury and Taurus is reminding me of you being focused on your business, basically minding your business. And with Mars and Pisces, it's like it's a war for you to maintain yourself and your emotional stability. Like, it's okay to let people be sick around you without them affecting you. That's the energy I have. If that's something you resonate with, let me know in the comments exactly what part really stood out for you. Like, share, subscribe, book a personal reading. You can join my members only. There's other links as well that you might be interested in, and I love to have you. So overall, that's the energy, and I will see you in the next one.